massive age gaps in a marriage. Workable?
Absolutely. All depends on the couple. One of the happiest couples I know, there's 22 years. He's 22 years older than her. Another very happy couple, she was 20 years older. Although in that time they got together about 40 years ago, and people were very shocked. I think maybe people are getting more used to this.
Okay, now there's psychologically a bit of a, hey, maybe this is misogyny. I'm going all woke here, okay? But you know, when a bloke has a younger bride, Boris and Carrie, 24 years younger. We've got George and Amal Clooney, 16 years younger. And, of course, we can all agree the marriage made in heaven, Depp and her, 23 years younger. Now, when it's a bloke with a younger bride, everyone's like, oh, you know, well played, mate. But when it's a woman, people find it unusual. Why do we think like that?
Well, we're coming out of a big time when mainly men were in charge, and now there's a shift, isn't there? And we're getting used to women having more power, women being able to have agency, buy homes, do jobs. If you look at the 70s, it was a very, very, very different time, and we're now in a different time where men are revealing that they have feelings, which they always had, but there was a story that men didn't have feelings, and women are becoming more empowered, and there's lots of shifts.
There are, absolutely. And it's not as simple, is it, Kate, to say, as I think there's a lazy stereotype, isn't there, which is that, you know, if you're a younger man with a much older woman, maybe you've got mummy issues or something like that. But it's not as simple as that, is it, Kate?
It's the quality of the connection. I mean, it makes sense that some people... there's a lovely sex therapist called Dr. Debbie Schnarch who said, you know, great sex comes with cellulite. Because it's the idea that it can be wonderful to be intimately involved with someone who knows themselves. It can be very, very sexy, very, very erotic, and very alluring. So you can imagine that there's lots of people who want to be with someone that is a real mate, is a real friend, is a real compatriot, and age doesn't necessarily matter. Although equally, sometimes when people are older, as you know, they're more ready for relating, or they've learnt so much, so they bring so much to the table.
No, absolutely. It's about the experience, isn't it, actually? And what's, frankly, just what someone can offer you. And as they say, Kate, at the end of the day, love is blind, isn't it?
I mean, initially, we have something, the first 6 months to 2 years of any relationship, people go through something called often limerence, which is that it necessarily, that in love place where you just think they're the best thing since sliced bread. And then can you go beyond that? Can you make a relationship from that? So, yeah, I mean, we can see that people make mistakes, people change their mind, people do relationships that don't work. But age gap it all depends on the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, Amanda's just got in touch in Wiltshire. Thank you very much. Me and my husband have a 10-year age gap. He's 57, I'm 47, and I've never been so happy. There you go. I'm sure we'll be married 10 years next year. Good stuff. So you've been married 9 years. Amanda, great stuff. So, Kate, you know, is there a potential issue, not referring to Amanda, of course, I would never dare to. Is there a potential issue sometimes if, look, eventually age catches up with all of us, and my attitude is to try and die young and leave a beautiful corpse, but only halfway there. But look, is it potential that you could find yourself, you know, one partner slowing down more than the other, for example, and that's when maybe issues could happen?
The thing about life is there's no guarantee on anything. And if you fall in love, there's a risk of loss. That's part of the deal of falling in love. And of course, you know, if you fall in love with someone older, they might die sooner. They might not. I've got some cousins, and he was much older than her, so he thought he was going to die sooner, and he's still going. She died some time ago, and we can't tell which way is what it's going to work out. Like, life is mysterious. But would you miss out on falling in love? Would you miss out?
No,
that's the thing.
It. And that's an interesting point, that, isn't it, Kate? For all the heartbreak that unfortunately can happen, you know, would you go through that just for that falling in love process? Is the falling in love worth the heartbreak? I know there's no science to it, but I want to know what your views are.
You know, I mean, the thing about life is that, you know, great risk brings great love, And if we do love deeply, that also can bring heartbreak. And it's just like, but isn't that part of living?
It is.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.